One of the biggest fears that makes people reluctant to become entrepreneurs is the fear of failure. This is something that it's so powerful that even though people know that it's their passion, it's their purpose, it's what they have to do in life, that fear of failure may hold them back. And that is one of the worst ways to not become an entrepreneur. So this lecture is meant to let you know that failure is inevitable, but more specifically, temporary failure is inevitable. Because there are going to be several failures, but all of those failures are temporary if you take the time to learn from them, correct your mistakes, and then become better as an entrepreneur and as a person. So the ultimate failure where maybe it's that big mistake and then you're done with it forever. That may happen depending on how dedicated or not dedicated you are towards entrepreneurship, but temporary failure is something that should not turn you away. And all types of failures are temporary because if we respond to them in the appropriate way where we don't get held back by them, we don't fail and then we think we're done, then that's what allows us to rise above the mistakes and become better entrepreneurs. So to deal with failure, we simply have to acknowledge that it happens. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to stumble at times, but every time we stumble, we are getting closer to success. Many of the successful entrepreneurs, they stumble to success. They launch products that don't market properly. They don't get any sales. They launch many of those types of products and services before they actually launch the products and services that become very successful. So the key thing, though, is that life is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond. So the way that we respond controls the outcome of whether a small failure is going to hold us back or if we are going to learn from it and rise above. Because the better we get at embracing failure and rising above it, then the easier it will be for us to rise above some of the most challenging challenges that can be thrown at us as we go through the entrepreneurial journey. So one tip that I like to give for people who are afraid of failure is that you have to fail often, and it's not something that makes you a bad person if you're failing, because many people like to believe that perfection exists. You get the perfect score on the test, you get the perfect score on something else, but in reality, perfection is a myth. It's just not possible. So it's better to fail often than not fail at all, because when you're failing, that means you're trying, that means you're taking new risks, that means you are getting closer to becoming a successful entrepreneur. So the moment you become comfortable with failure, now I'm not saying fail and just become comfortable with any type of bad part of life, but I'm saying if you become comfortable with making mistakes, then those mistakes and making mistakes will never stop you from becoming the person who you are destined to become. So it is okay to fail. It is okay to fail often as long as you keep on getting up, learning from your mistakes, and then becoming a better person out of it. That is all for this lecture. I hope it has served you. And what I want you to do is to dream big, achieve greatness, and unlock your potential today.